Bill, I've been reading the comments, okay, of all our other videos, and they're like, everybody's commenting, Florida housing market collapsing or collapsed. If you go into YouTube right now and you just put in there Florida housing market, I bet you the first 2 or 3 pages, nothing but negative. And I always get the comments like, well, you know, they're like, Jimmy, you're a home inspector, so you want houses to sell. Bill's a realtor and he wants to sell houses. That's true, okay? I am a home inspector and I want to inspect houses because that's how I make my living. And Bill is a realtor and he wants to sell houses. Okay, that's true. But the facts are the facts, okay? So we're going to talk, about today is like, a lot of people swear the collapse is here. It is here. The Florida housing market, if you guys just Google Florida housing market, I guarantee you 2 or 3 pages in a row will be about everybody saying 50% mark collapsed, 40% mark collapse. And the whole thing is, it may be true, but it may not be true. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to break it down into section. Economic and financial factors, market and supply factors, and environmental and policy factors. Okay, we're going to break it up into 3 sections so we go over it nice and easy. In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It's very motivational. We work really hard to get these videos out, and it's greatly appreciated. And leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and share. And I reply to almost every comment. Bill, okay, let's talk about this. Economic and financial factors. High interest rates. Rising mortgage rates have made housing less affordable and reduced demand. True or false?
True.
It is true. Okay.
Yeah, we can't argue that. What we have to address with that comment, though, or this topic, is, you know, people, because I still hear it over and over and over again. We're waiting for interest rates to come down. We're waiting for interest rates to come down. We're waiting for interest rates to come down. Everybody wants the interest rates to go back to 5 and 4%. So if you're waiting for interest rates to come down, but the values of the houses are still continuing to increase, then you're going to pay more money for your house, because we're not going to leave that. We're in the rough 7s. I did see somebody get a 6.5 the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy down?
No, they said no buy downs, not new construction. This was resale. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that one pans out. I'll keep you updated on that. But you know, you're paying more for your house because the property values are continuing to go up. But the whole premise of this is that they're going down. So we'll talk about that.
All right, how about this one? Inflated home prices. Florida home prices have surged to unsustainable levels, outpacing wage growth. True or false?
Yeah, we have crazy rapid growth over a few year period that did not, with wages just flat didn't keep up. And they can't catch back up. It's going to be really hard for wages to catch back up with that in the short term. So having these flat years, or maybe even a slight decline year, which we haven't seen yet, but here in our area, but even if we get a flat year with maybe minimal growth, we need that. We really do.
All right, so let me tell you guys a quick story. So this person, I just did their house. I was talking to the seller. He bought the house in 2009. And he's kicking himself in the butt because he says, I probably lost 10% on this house. You know, I should have sold it 2 years ago, you know? And I'm like, when did you buy it? He said, 2009. He paid like $185 for it. But now he's only getting like $500,000. So I'm like, but you paid $185 for it. He goes, yeah, but I bought it, you know, a long time ago. I said, yeah, but you're still up in the big scheme of things. He says, and I told him, I said, you're losing, in your mind, you're losing 10% on unrealized gains.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, this is like, I have a friend that does stocks and all this other fluff, and this is the same conversations that we have. Mm-hmm. Because he's like, oh my gosh, my portfolio lost 30% today. It's the same thing. Don't sell it then. Or, what did you gain? Yeah, maybe you lost 10, 20, 30%. But you're up 300%.
But people are going to say,
doesn't make sense.
People are going to write in the comments right now, and I encourage you guys to write in the comments. They're going to say, hey, go to realtor.com or Zillow, whatever, and you can see price cuts across the board. Mm-hmm. Okay? And is that true?
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Why don't you explain why that's happening?
Well, just because somebody reduces their price, think about this. A majority of properties sell for less than what the person asks for in the first place. And to be honest, there's still a lot of sellers, although a lot of people are starting to figure it out, that they're pricing their homes extremely aspirational, meaning too high, because so-and-so sold their house for this much.
Yeah, but they're looking for that unicorn buyer.
Exactly. And then they go in with the retail mentality and go, well, I'll just give a discount. But at the end of the day, people won't. If you're on the buy side, put yourself in the buyer's shoes when you're getting ready to list your house and think about it. Because the same people that list their house for a lot of money when we're looking for the house, then they're the ones looking for the deal, and they're like, oh, I don't know if I can make an offer on this one because they won't come down to what I need.
But I think a lot of that is the fault of the realtor, because I know a lot of realtors that will just do it for any price that they want because they're trying to buy the listing. So I blame the realtors for that one. You know, like, I'm not a realtor, but if I was, I'm not a realtor, but if I was a realtor and I said, okay, this house is worth $300,000, and they say, well, I want $400,000, I'm not even wasting my time.
Well, yeah, that's an extreme like that, absolutely.
But it's just
because sometimes you're stuck with what your seller is willing to do at that particular time.
Massive investor speculation. Investors and hedge funds have driven up the prices, creating a bubble. Are we in a bubble?
No, I don't think we're in a bubble, and I don't know that hedge funds and
speculations.
I don't think they've bought that many properties compared to the regular.
Do you guys think that Florida's in a big housing bubble? All right, tell me if this one is true or false. Declining buyer demand. Many buyers are getting priced out and waiting for corrections. I think it's 100% true.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I agree, because that's a perception, and I hear that conversation a lot, and there is a reality to the fact that certain buyers, just the market's too hot and they cannot afford a house.
Yeah, and stay till the end, because I'll tell you guys my opinion if it's a good time to buy it. It's my opinion alone, but I'll tell you, if it's a good time to buy or not towards the end of this video. Right, okay, this one. Rising insurance costs. Skyrocketing homeowners insurance costs are making homeownership unaffordable. 100% true.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Okay? That's what I keep saying. What's going to kill the Florida housing market is two things. Okay, just two. It's not even jobs.
No.
It's insurance and property taxes. Those two things are destroying Florida's housing.
Yeah, they're a real concern when you're buying a house, and you've absolutely, no matter who you use as your real estate agent, you absolutely have to make sure you get an insurance quote during your due diligence period or your inspection period, because you really need to understand. And if you can avoid the heavy flood zones, if you're on a fixed budget, try not to go into a flood zone. You're going to pay twice as much for insurance.
Yeah, you don't realize it. I mean, sometimes when you're going to buy a house, I see deals die all the time, not because of taxes or not because of the cost of the house. It's because of the freaking insurance. All right, property tax increases, like Bill just said, make sure it's okay. High cost of living. Florida overall cost of living become unsustainable for many residents. Florida used to be, and I think that's true, Florida used to be the retirement #1 capital place to go to. Oh, you're retired, you go in Florida, play golf and fish.
Yep.
That's not true anymore, okay? Florida is not the #1 place to retire anymore. I believe it's Tennessee now, and right now there was a survey down that more people are moving to South Carolina than Florida on one-way U-Hauls.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
So,
because the weather there is relatively mild, the winters and stuff, it's not horrible, and it's a little bit more affordable there from what I understand.
And people keep saying, I'm going to move from New York to come to Florida to save money. Yeah, it used to be true. That's not true anymore. It really is not.
Oh, come on. A little bit.
Where?
You're going to save money. You're telling me that real estate in New York is less expensive or the same as real estate here in Tampa Bay?
Well, if you're saying the 5 boroughs on Long Island, no. But if you're upstate New York, yes.
Well, that's different. You just said New York as a whole.
Yeah, so, New York as a whole.
Like, in general, because you could go somewhere besides Tampa Bay and get a cheap house, too, if you wanted to go out into the countryside. If you want to go to Ocala.
Yeah, but most people move to Florida to be near the water.
Well, then you're going to pay.
Yeah, but you're not moving to Florida to be
Yeah.
in a steam or, in the middle
Drive
of the
30
state.
minutes, and save some money. Drive 30 minutes.
All right, another thing is the collapse may be overdue is potential for foreclosure spike. I just did an inspection this morning, and there was like 4 houses on one street on foreclosures.
Yeah.
It actually had signs that said foreclosure, foreclosure, foreclosure.
It's in some sort of a process. So the thing with that, which I think is kind of, it was crazy. I saw a stat that came out because I look up how many foreclosure sales went through each month. And just for Pinellas County single family homes in January, because remember our we're in March now, but it takes 1 month to get January stats. So we got them at the end of February. So we're always lagging. And it was only one house closed, and there's 6 pending.
Oh, well. Wage growth not keeping up. True or false? People's salaries aren't going up. No. And credit tightening. Banks are becoming more restrictive lending in a buyer's pool.
Oh, absolutely.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to market supply and factors. Overbuilding. Developers have built too many homes, leading to potential oversupply. True or false?
I think that's false.
I think
that's 100% false.
I think it's true. Okay, and I'll tell you why. I just think I go into these subdivisions, they're building thousands of homes. All right, but here's the deal that I could kind of agree with Bill, but not 100%. The problem is not how many houses are for sale. I think there's plenty of houses for sale, but I think the problem is affordable homes. Okay, I think if builders start building more affordable homes, I think then that could.
But that's what they're doing.
Well, what do you consider affordable homes?
600 and under. Because that's just numbers. I went to a build center and had a conversation about that.
I don't consider a $600,000 house affordable.
But their sales numbers say otherwise.
We got to do a video on that because I'm in build centers and I talk to people and they're struggling to sell some homes. Oh, we'll agree to disagree on that one.
I don't think that's true.
Because you're in build centers, I'm in build centers.
Yeah.
And I see the build centers like, oh, you still haven't sold that one? It's like, no, deal fell through. So. Well,
this is another reason that they're cautious to build out to the end. So they're getting them sold. They're not. A lot of places aren't you're not getting to pick your lot and go to all those things. Although I'm starting to see that a little bit more, particularly like MI Homes, the new subdivision they just opened up, new phase in Chapel Crossings. They're allowing you to pick your lots, but they're releasing just a few, and then at 50%, they kind of put the rest of them up for sale. So they've got 4 months left to close, and they're cranking them out.
All right. Another reason why we're overdue for a collapse, according to everybody, is rising inventory levels. More homes are hitting the market, signaling a shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market. True.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so it used to be a seller's market, but it's not anymore. I don't care.
It's still a seller's market technically, but the more inventory we get, the more, if you're a seller, you really have to start taking into consideration that there's more options for people. And the days of just putting your house up and, not doing anything to it and expecting top dollar, they're pretty much gone. There's more choice and buyers are more savvy.
All right, what about this one? Falling rent prices. Rent growth is slowing, reducing investor profitability and demand. I think it's true. Rent prices have been dropping a little bit.
Yeah, rent prices have come down slightly. On average, right around Christmas was the last time I checked the national average. Rent prices on average nationwide went up a little bit, but that's the entire country, and that was only like 1%. I think here in our area, depending on where you're at, really, rents are starting to stabilize and come down. They really are.
What about this one? Migration slowdown. The influx of new residents is slowing, reducing housing demand. 100% true.
Slightly, yeah. I wouldn't say it's like, frigid.
All right, what about this one? Boomer sell-off. Aging baby boomers may start selling off the homes, flooding the market with supply.
I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to flood the market.
Well, I guess.
I think that's a BS word. We're going to flood the market. Boomers are going to flood the market. Listen, boomers, they get it, right? They're the least, because I've said this before in other videos, they're the least affected by interest rates because they don't have a mortgage typically, or they have such a small mortgaged amount that it doesn't matter to them. right? Because they're going to pay cash for their next house. But they're also going to pay crazy property taxes on that next house because their property taxes may go up.
Yeah, the golden handcuffs.
So you're stuck.
You're stuck.
So people, I don't think it's going to be this
house
flood.
I've been to is just a husband and wife. They're in the 70s or 80s.
That's what I mean.
They have 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. And they're like,
it's cheaper to keep it.
It's cheaper to keep it.
Yep.
My house, it's cheaper for me to keep it than sell it and go someplace
Absolutely.
that is cheaper.
Yeah.
Short-term rentals, too many Airbnbs and vacation rental properties could lead to a sell-off if tourism declines. True or false?
I would agree with that to an extent. The thing is, I don't think tourism is going to decline. And the reason I say that is because the roads are still packed.
No, it was crazy today.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to environmental and policy factors, okay? And because these are some important ones too, that I really think it's going to cause, it could cause, depending on how this season goes, could cause a collapse in the housing, in my opinion. Hurricane and climate risk, increased storms and climate-related issues discouraging long-term investments. Let's say we had a bad hurricane season last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was horrendous. Okay, it was biblical in some areas. Okay.
Okay.
So what if we have it again this year? Okay, I'm not saying we will. It might be 30 years before we have it again. It might be 50 years. But it could be this year again.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Do you think if we have another really bad hurricane season like we did last year, that we're screwed?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I still think people, regardless, what I think is going to happen is what we're already seeing is if you go to the coastal neighborhoods and the more median priced homes, closer to the median, for sales in the 400s and under, those properties, they're getting, picked up by investors and they're going to be put up on stilts, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, they're knocking them down, yeah.
I see those homes it's like a Christmas tree. Basically on the, west side of US 19. That's kind of the rough demarcation line in our area for coastal versus not coastal, depending on where you're at. But though you've seen a surge in listings over there because people don't want to deal with it, right? Between their flood insurance and their house getting flooded again, they don't want to because they got whammied back to back. And even in the previous year, they got whammied. So, now I think you're going to see that, but those people are coming inland a little bit more, so they don't have to deal with that drama at this point. So, I don't know. I don't think we're screwed because people are still going to want to move to Florida. Remember, it's not just the coast; it's Florida.
Yeah, but like on my block, okay, when, not here in Trinity, but in Hudson. Investors bought, 3 or 4 of those homes. You see the houses they're building.
Oh, they're insane.
They're million-plus houses.
They're
gorgeous.
Insane. Yeah.
Okay? Flood insurance crisis. Many areas face skyrocketing flood insurance costs are being dropped altogether. That's true.
And the problem with that is that, you get picked up by Citizens Insurance, which is our state's insurance, but you're mandatory to have flood insurance now if you're on the Citizens program as they start to roll this out. It's not everybody at one time, but they're phasing it in. So, but then you could get dropped because, this is kind of a positive because they found somebody else that's pretty close to your insurance already because they want to clear their rolls out. They don't want to have all because they got to stay solvent. But it's expensive to have flood insurance and that's why they did the whole mandatory flood thing because even people that are close to like a small creek, it backs up into a neighborhood. The neighborhood that backed up the storm drains, which then affected the neighborhood over to the other side that wasn't even anywhere close. So this is why they were requiring flood insurance, and it's become a problem. One of the reasons, I should say.
State policies. Uncertainty. Florida's political and economic policy, tax insurance laws create instability. It's true. Yeah. They need to get their shit together.
Yeah, we got to figure out this property tax thing. We just did a video on that.
Yeah, so economic slowdown. Potential U.S. recession could reduce demand and trigger a price correction. That's true. Like I said last year, I don't care who's the president, okay? Like, we're going to hurt for the first half of the year. And not for nothing, but, now that we're doing, they say, well, we're going to do tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and then they're going to do tariffs on us, and blah, blah, blah. It's going to hurt, the cost of building a house. A lot of stuff, lumber, everything gets imported. So the cost of building a house, And you know, a lot of these builders are building smaller houses, like you said, more affordable houses. Your price is $600,000, which I think is crazy.
I'm just telling you what their numbers are because I just had a meeting with them, and that's what they said. The majority of the homes that they sell every day are in the 600. It blew my mind because they have the 400s to 600.
Okay, for $600,000, we're going to do it on your channel. We're going to say, this is how much money you need to be making. And this, this is what your tax is probably going to be, and this is what probably your insurance is going to be. And
it's going to be,
and then we'll walk to a house that's $600,000, and we'll say, this is what you're getting for $600,000.
Exactly.
We're going to go do that video, and I'm going to be on your channel and do that one, because
I'm not telling you.
I don't think $600,000 is affordable.
Well, that's to you, but there's a lot of people that are buying $600,000 houses that think it's affordable.
If you guys tell me in the comments if you think $600,000, I'll actually put out a survey. I'll put it out tonight to say, is $600,000 considered affordable housing?
And what's your income level? Look at the area that I'm talking about.
Well, let's go by the average income in the area.
Okay, well, the average income in my area is in the 200,000s. Because we have hospitals, we've got doctors, we've got engineering firms.
So you're saying that the average income in Wesley Chapel is $200,000?
In the area that I'm referring to, that where the houses that are selling, they're right next. This is
the people that live in that community. You're
in that community. It's a micro community.
You're micro community.
This is why they're selling the average. The $600,000 houses are selling better.
I don't know. I mean, okay.
They know their stats. They know their numbers. They wouldn't build them if they couldn't sell them.
All right.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't build them if they couldn't sell them. These things are flying up out of the ground. You can't deny that. No matter what, you can't deny that these houses are flying up out of the ground.
So let's do a video on it.
We could just drive down the street. Sold, 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 sold. People living there.
All right. Listen, check out Bill's channel, okay? I'll link it below. We're going to have a video on it, and we're going to talk about it. Anyways, that's today's video. Listen, as always, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. It's greatly appreciated. You stay till the end. Give it a thumbs up and share. And check out this video right here. We picked it out just for you, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you, and have a great day.
See you on the next video.